Today's lesson is lesson number 210. This is our 10th lesson in Review 6 under the theme of I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. This is a review of lesson 190. I choose the joy of God instead of pain. Let's read the lesson. Pain is my own idea. It is not a thought of God, but one I thought apart from Him and from His will. His will is joy, and only joy for His beloved Son, and that I choose instead of what I made. I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. Let's look closely at this lesson. Pain is my own idea. I create pain anytime that I'm caught up in the thinking of the ego. Anytime that I'm thinking with doubt, fear, anger, resentment, pain, sorrow. This is all a creation of my ego mind. It is not thinking with the mind of God. This is not God's will. God's will for every one of us is to be happy, to be full of joy. I choose joy. How about you? Here we are in the front because we're having our awning installed in the back patio. Let's review lesson 190. I choose the joy of God instead of pain. Paragraph 3 tells us, if pain is real, there is no God. That's a big idea. Pain is really a choice. We get to decide. Do you want to see through the eyes of pain, or do you want to see through the eyes of love? Paragraph 5 says, it is your thoughts alone that cause you pain. Let's think about that for a minute. Whether we're talking about emotional pain or physical pain, every single time that we're feeling pain, stop and ask ourselves, what have I been thinking about? What was I thinking about before I became aware of this pain? Was I thinking with love, or was I thinking with fear? Was I thinking with God's mind or with the ego's mind? This awareness helps us to shift and to learn how to think more and more with the mind of God. Further in paragraph 5, there is nothing in the world that has the power to make you ill or sad, weak or frail. Nothing in the world, it's all in our mind. But it is you who have all power to dominate all things you see by merely recognizing what you are. What are you? Has anyone ever asked you that? What are you? I am a piece of God, and so are you. We are pure consciousness. We are nothing but pure love. When we embrace this reality, everything changes. We stop seeing all of what's wrong in the world, and we start to see what's just right. Everything that we look at is beaming with God's love and light. At the end of paragraph 5, it says, as you perceive the harmlessness in them, they will accept your holy will as theirs. And what was seen as fearful now becomes a source of holiness and innocence. We are here to be God's light workers. When we see the holiness in another person who may be full of fear, may be feeling true physical pain or emotional pain, we can see their holiness and their innocence, and we can help them to see that in themselves as well. That is our purpose here on this earth. Paragraph 9 says, lay down your arms and come without defense into the quiet place where heaven's peace holds all things still at last. Lay down all thoughts of danger and of fear. Let no attack enter with you. Lay down the cruel sword of judgment that you hold against your throat, and put aside the withering assaults with which you seek to hide your holiness. These are strong words. Lay down your arms. Lay down the cruel sword of judgment that you hold against your throat. These are the things that we do to ourselves when we judge ourselves, when we see ourselves as being bad, weak, sinful, guilty, full of shame. We can choose to lay them down. We don't have to continue on this way. So many people do until the day they die. We can come without defense into the quiet place where heaven's peace holds all things still at last. This is about getting quiet, about accepting God's love, peace, and joy. We can choose to stop hiding our holiness. I think we all know it's there, but we're afraid to admit it. A Course in Miracles is telling us it's time to step into the truth of who we are, our true holiness. This is who we are. The last paragraph says, "Let our gratitude to our teacher fill our hearts as we are free to choose our joy instead of pain, our holiness in place of sin, the peace of God instead of conflict, and the light of heaven for the darkness of the world." This tells us exactly who we are. We are gratitude. We are joy. We are holiness. We are the peace of God. And we are the light of heaven. This is who we are. Which one do you choose? Do you choose the world of pain, the world of sin, the world of conflict, the world of darkness, or do you choose the joy of God? It's completely up to you. We're going to go through Review 6 one more time, one paragraph at a time for the remaining lessons. Paragraph 1 says, "For this review, we take but one idea each day and practice it as often as possible." That's what we're asked to do today. Practice today's idea as often as possible. Start with, "I am not a body, I am free, for I am just as God created me." And then say to yourself, "I choose the joy of God instead of pain," and sit with that. We want to give ourselves no less than 15 minutes first thing in the morning and last thing at night to read the lesson and just sit in quiet meditation as we contemplate the idea for today. In addition, we are asked to keep to our hourly practices and then to use the idea as often as possible in between. This is just another way of saying to practice this idea all day long as much as possible. I love this line. Each of these ideas alone would be sufficient for salvation if it were learned truly. We want to fully learn these lessons because just one lesson is an encapsulated version of the entire course. If we could always choose the joy of God instead of pain, can you imagine what an incredible life we would have? And if everyone could choose this, our world would be completely different. There would be no more wars, there would be no pain, there would be no sorrow. We'd all just be dancing in the streets, hugging and kissing each other. I look forward to that day, and I do believe that that will happen. Maybe not in this lifetime, but it will happen. If you would like to close your eyes, I'll read today's lesson one more time. "I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. I choose the joy of God instead of pain. Pain is my own idea. It is not a thought of God, but one I thought apart from Him and from His will. His will is joy, and only joy for His beloved Son, and that I choose instead of what I made. I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me." Thanks so much for listening right until the end, my friends. Are you ready for our special treat? "I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. I choose the joy of God instead of pain." Have a joyful day, my friends. I love you.